All right. So, Max, do me a favor. Tell me a little bit of a background to Flaska water. I want to understand it a little bit better.
Well, Flaska was born in 2003 in a way. Back then, I was a professional strawberry grower on my wife's farm. I mean, when a friend of mine came and he said, you know what, you can change the water and then the strawberries will be better. I said, okay, well, I don't have a clue are you talking about, but I'm willing to try because strawberries contain 89% of water. So I give it a try and then anxiously going around and seeing the difference. The field was rather big, like 50,000 plants, and there was literally no difference between, let's say, control and the half of the field watering with structured water. But after 1 month and a half, when we started to pick the strawberries, I was completely shocked because there was difference in the taste, 18% bigger yield, longer shelf life, way less disease, and it was for me it was a miracle.
And the taste?
The taste was that's this is an interesting topic. The taste was not sweeter; it was less sweet, to my surprise.
Mm.
And we needed quite some thinking about why. I mean, everything is better with the exception of the taste. And then we figured it out. I mean, come on, the plants produce 18% more. How can you expect that the sugar level will go up as well? Probably it did. But for the next year, we kind of, it's an interesting fact because I was even more amazed that this is kind of IT. You can program into the water whatever you want. And back then I was in shock, but we changed the program to be less into the production mode and more into the better taste. So yes, next year it was 7 to 8% bigger yield and as well more sugar level.
How did you change? So all right. So you're a strawberry farmer and you decide to utilize structured water. How did you structure the water? Like as a farmer, how did you structure it?
We had a special, how should I say, filter with ceramic tubes containing the vibrational program, and as well we vortex the water when it was coming through this filter. So it was kind of two-stage water programming or water structuring. So yeah, it's it I can tell you so much of anecdotes of back then because I didn't have a clue what we were doing, but I said, you know what, okay, 1 year, okay, but we have tried that for 6 years. So it was kind of a great learning experience because it's with plants, it's rather easy to do the test because they are there all the time under on the same field. Everything is the same. I mean, how can I test people running around all the time and nobody is the same, etc.
Mhm.
So
Sure.
yeah, the strawberries was great learning experience for me.
So the original source of the water, are you taking spring water or are you just taking water from the tap and then you're putting the computer program and the ceramic filters
Yeah,
on
that
top?
was, I mean, with computer, you help ourselves. I mean, now I could say I'm expert in programming. I'm doing this for so many years. So with the computer, you need help only when making vibrational program, and then with device A, B, or C, different things, but you just have to transfer it to the water. So, yes, it's what should I say? Mm, there is so many things about water structuring that we in a way have to be careful that we will not dive too deep and raise more questions than give the answers.
No, no, no. I want to hear it all.
Exactly.
So this is the vortex, for instance. How long are you vortexing the water for?
It's enough just to vortex it. Well, if you, I mean, water loves movement, and we know from homeopathy, if you shake the water or vortex it, or you started to move, that's way better than, I mean, even if you have a glass and you swirl it one way and another, etc., you're making simple vortex, and already this is a very simple way of water structuring. So in the nature, when water is flowing through the stream, you have millions of vortexes going around all the time, and of course air coming into the water, etc. So vortex is a completely natural process of this is I mean, the work of Victor Schauberger is really interesting, because through the vortex you are putting the energy together. It's the same thing as tornado is doing. In the center, okay, it's 0 point, but you are putting the energy together, rather than because majority of our technology now is on the explosion, so the energy expands, and here we are talking about contraction of energy. So it's vortexing is a natural energizing process.
And so what makes it energizing? Is it just the fact that, you know, if anything sits, then all of the different, let's say, components inside, they have different weights, so they start to separate. And then if it vortexes, it mixes all of the minerals together, or why is a vortex energizing water?
Yeah, this is you opened extremely demanding topic, because we know very well the beginning stage, and then the after the process stage, whatever the structuring could be, in this case vortexing. What is happening in between, it's a challenging topic, and the top scientists have problem with explaining. I mean, you have different theories what's behind. For me, the most important thing is the stage after. If it is better and truly better, then that is definitely beneficial. And this is what I'm really proud about our product, because we have many tests, like 6, 7, 8 from different perspectives. But that is the tests that are done in laboratories, and then you compare A to B and you find the differences. But for me, what is important is how the product works between the people, because we are all different, men, women, old, young. I mean, in the States, people are different than it might be in South Africa or in Australia or whatever. So we have to cope with all the difference, and the product works for everyone. That's important, not the difference A and B and what is going on. I want that the product is working in a real life, and because of, for example, the better taste, people drink more water, period.
So
Okay, it's not period. Then you have to go to toilet more often. That's a good side effect.
Yeah.
so the how do you know that the water has now been structured?
There is many ways to do it. I mean, the most simple test for, let's say, if you have at least, let's say, some sense in your mouth about it, because we have different sensitivity. But let's say with average or good sensitivity, you can taste the difference in the water, because it's kind of smoother, silkier. If you don't taste it with water, because the water to water is different as well, you might try it with lemonade, because it's less acidic, it's more drinkable. Or you put some let's say, not so good wine in it as well, you can feel the difference. So simply, I mean, for me, it is about, or let's say, the excellent, how should I say, mm, response we receive from children, because children don't know anything about water structuring. They don't know our company, etc. They don't have a clue what we are doing. Yet, for me, the biggest reward is when I receive an email from the mother saying, you know what, mm, our boy always drinks something with sugar, and now water from Flaska, they drink just water, and this is a huge step towards health and let's say avoiding all the modern diseases like diabetes too, etc.
Mhm. Okay. So the reason I ask is now is there a specific way you're supposed to vortex water?
Well, it's just let's not overdo it, to do it left or way or right way. I mean, if you do it with intention, that you will be drinking good water afterwards, I don't care if you swirl it to the left or to the right or to both ways. The intention is the king. That's the most important. That you put away the stress and you focus on good water, and then you're drinking. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So I did a silly little experiment with my dogs. So I drink reverse osmosis water
Okay.
and I used a hand blender and I blended it up for 3 minutes, put the water in it, blended it up, and I put the bowls side by side. And my dogs didn't like it. It was they drank everything. So they had the bowls side by side, the same color bowl. It was in the same thing the whole time. And then day one, it was like the same thing. Day two, they only drank the regular reverse osmosis water. And day three, it was they didn't even touch the vortexed water. So I'm sitting here saying, like, well, shit, I did something wrong. So what should I do? And I didn't know how to test it. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm screwing something up. Maybe my immersion blender was dirty. I don't know. I could, give me something more that I can do, because I wanted to understand it a little bit better and see if, like, well, the animals don't know the difference. What can I do to structure the water myself in a more controlled setting so they're at least getting the same quality of water, right? Do I pour it over quartz crystal? Do I let it sit in the sunlight? Like, what can I do to the water to make it better or more structured?
Yeah, so this is so let's say, uh, the the blender, as I don't have personal, let's say, experience with it, but I would reckon that the problem is because of course the motor under the inside the blender is electromagnetic device, and maybe that field is putting some, let's say, not the right amount of electromagnetic field, or the swirling is too aggressive, or but I mean, the vortexing is just one thing of water structuring. As you said, you can put it in the sun, you can put the color around it. Quartz crystals are very well known in, let's say, step into the drinking of better water. I would say for start that you avoid the blender and that you do the vortex by yourself, just with some wooden spoon or ceramic spoon. The metal is to be avoided as well. But as well, I mean, the advantage of our product, Flaska, is as well that in a way, okay, if you shake it before you drink it, it's good, but otherwise, the vibrations are in the glass, and that's the point.
So
No
how
extra effort. Yeah.
so how long am I supposed to have the water in that glass before I drink it? Because let's say I don't want to drink out of the water bottle. I want to pour it into another glass, or I want to pour it into, let's say, a dog bowl. how long should the water sit in the dog bowl, and how long before it becomes destructured?
Yeah, so 5 minutes is enough for, let's say, the majority of water structuring to happen. I mean, this is like just a guideline. Normally, you will put tap water inside, and when you are thirsty, you will drink it, and it's definitely more than 5 minutes. But 5 minutes, let's say, is the minimum. And if everything is, let's say, that the water is normal quality, the information should stay, or the structure should stay for 1 day approximately. So
1 day.
and yes, and for dogs, that is, I mean, we even had dog bowl for a while on the market, where we had special vibrational program just for dogs, which of course is way better than, I mean, it was done just for them. Maybe we will return with this product. That one was extremely complex, but we had really good results with it. Yes.
So how do you know? So now you also have a frequency. It's not just a vortex, because you said water loves movement. So essentially, the more you move your water, the happier the water. But then there's
Exactly.
also the frequency. So, and by frequency, do you mean hertz?
No, it's, let's say, we are talking about vibrations or energy, or let's say the conventional science has a little bit of challenge with this topic and is not recognized. But in alternative or in holistic approach, we know Reiki, we know many things, we know expressions like chi, prana, etc. So this is the vibrations or the energy that we are talking about.
Okay. Now, how are you programming that energy into that glass bottle?
We are using orgon cannons, or that is, orgon is other expression for chi or for life energy. Orgon was coined by Wilhelm Reich back in the 30s, when he was working with this device. And we leave it in front of the devices for 90 minutes. So it's not like just a touch of the button. And here is the majority of the vibrational transfer is done, or let's say majority. I mean, here is where we can change the, let's say, I mean, the glass is great for writing informations on it or vibrations, because it contains high volume of silicon or silicon dioxide, and this is like quartz, and we can imprint it with vibrations or information.
So then if you was to take just a normal glass from a supermarket and then one of the Flaska glasses and you put it under a microscope, would you see any difference?
No difference at all. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's this, how should I say, what is important is the consequence. For example, I can have here, let's say, 2 sheets of paper, and on one I write something happy, on the other one I will write something sad. So the only difference between these 2 sheets and the third one might be empty. The only difference here is the information which is written on the sheet of paper. And if we would look this paper under the microscope, of course nothing will change. But from the perspective of person who is looking it, your mood will be changed. You will be either sad or happy. And the same thing is with the water. When the water receives this information, it's either chaotic or it becomes structure, and we could say happy.
Right. Yeah, the reason I ask is because I remember there when the term epigenetics started to get popular, and there was a guy called Dr. Bruce Lipton, I think he's called.
Yes, yes.
And then he had some studies where they were using different frequencies for snowflakes, and they would see different, or at least that's what it was claimed, there were differences in structure of the snowflakes, as well as also the way that different plants responded
Yes.
to happy or sad music, I think it was, or conversation or something like that. So I wasn't sure if it also happened there in the glass. But I mean, look, at the end, you know, not to say that there isn't a benefit to it, but if you say, even if people are going in, like you said at the beginning, with the right intention, so the intention is that this glass is, you know, energetic water that's beneficial for me, you know, this is going to already have an effect on people for sure. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
And then what about like the difference between, let's say, dead water and structured water? If you were to put that under a microscope, or is there any way that we can see it like quantified? There's a difference, but like, you know, even say yourself, if you were to be blindfolded and you had two different glasses, would you be able to tell straight away what's the difference?
Yes, there are many different ways how to see the difference, but definitely here is okay. One thing you already mentioned, so it's formation of the snow crystals, because in that water the crystals are not formed or are formed just partially, and on the other side, where we are talking about structured water, you have beautiful complex snowflakes. And this is the work of Masaru Emoto, is very well known in this field. And now lately, Veda Austin is doing great work, and of course, many other people. But this is, I mean, we are visual, and with snowflakes, it's so simple to imagine the influence of the information on the water.
Mhm.
So how do you know that the frequency that you're sending is the right frequency? How do you know that it's a happy frequency? How do you know that it's a sad frequency?
That that's a great topic, because I mean, of course, our intention is the best, and but it's a question of what frequencies or what information to use, and what's our purpose, what's our intention. And here is, I we step a little bit into the field of philosophy, but nevertheless, I was thinking about that a lot, because in Slovenia we have great water, but here is a question: why would you be drinking our water? You should be drinking your water, because you are tuned or adapted to the place that you live in. So the idea of Flaska is that we return water to the spring state, to natural spring state of that water, and this is the best water for you to drink. Although we know some special springs with who have healing properties as well, and people go there, like Lourdes in France or Fatima in Portugal is known, at least in Europe. But I think the best is that you drink the water from your place, and it is in the spring state, because simply that's where you live.
Okay, so if I drink water that's from a well water underground,
Yes,
is that water in a spring state?
that how did that water came to the surface?
Through pipes.
Because normal what is going on is that we pump the water out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's already, I mean, that water is when water is mature, it comes out by herself, and if we pump it out, let's say artificially, that's not the best natural water, I would say.
Go into that. What do you mean mature water?
Well, it's simply waterfall. It's difficult to grasp all what water is doing in the nature, but nevertheless it falls down. It goes through the rocks. And through this natural process is as well filtrated. And when the time is right, it comes out in the shape of the spring, and that's the best water to drink.
Mm.
And I mean, some people as well, or some people, what's the expression in English? It's artisan springs. I mean, you can even get some springs who come out from the soil on the top of the hill or on the mountain, which is kind of strange because water shouldn't supposed to flow up. But that's mature water. If it comes out, that's what you should be drinking. And if it is on the top of the mountain, even better.
So when you were farming, how did you source your water?
We had here, let's say, good water already, natural water, and our, let's say, intention was just to restructure it and to have better for strawberries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you selective for like rainwater or anything like that?
No, it's spring water. It was flowing regardless if we had rain or not. So it was normal spring water.
And how did you pick the frequency to enhance taste?
You think for strawberries or for people?
For strawberries.
For strawberries, it was more what I explained. It was try and error procedure. We were trying, and we saw, because the first year, the how should I say, our vibrational program was very narrow and focused. And while that is good from some things like bigger yield, and as I mentioned, it had side effects. Then the next year we tried more like wider program, let's say beneficial to all the plants, we might call it. And it was, let's say, lacking a little bit towards the strawberries. And then on the third year, okay, obviously the both extremes of the vibrational program was not working good. And then it is, let's keep it in the middle, and that is what we found out is the best.
You said you had less disease in the
Yes.
strawberries. What were the bugs doing? Did you have more bugs, more animals wanting to come and eat on the strawberries?
It's difficult to comment on that. Definitely way less disease, and it was not just when we had strawberries, because you have to change with different cultures. Even after the strawberries went away, you could see on which part of the field the structured water was used, and obviously the soil quality was improved. But
yeah.
It's hard for me to comment about the bugs and other things. Yeah.
So for the frequency, for the vibrational protocol, what did you have something on your pipes? Like sitting there and just every time the sprinkler was going? Like how did that work?
I wish I could show you a photo. It was kind of a big filter of this size, and as said, the ceramics tubes inside with water sink capability, and water just flow through. So it is simple irrigation system. The water is running through relatively slow, and it's no problem to pick up vibrations through this in this way.
So the water flows through relatively quickly, right? So didn't you say you wanted it for like a 5-minute waiting period? What's the difference?
Yeah, but this is what the water here is, let's say, in each Flaska, water is in a way separated from the water. As well, I mean, we have water structuring devices for houses, and you have just one device, but then the water is connected, let's say, with the water forward from the device and backwards from the device. And here already, I mean, water communicates one to another. So it's not that the structuring is going on just in that, let's say, just on one spot. It's yes, it's flowing through, but the process is rather quick, and the water is connected all the time.
So just to understand what you mean, so if you imagine that the water is like a rope, and then if you make, if say one part of the rope, you're putting the frequencies in, that then communicates across the whole length of the rope because the water's connected, right?
Exactly.
That's what,
Exactly.
rather than in the Flaska, it's like you've cut the rope, and now I've put this piece of rope here, so then I have to, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can now share with you even one crazy story that I encountered, because this is what you said. You cut the rope, because I was measuring different water samples and different structuring, let's say, techniques, and of course I have several glasses, and it was like you said, okay, one glass with structured water and one glass with dead water, and these two glasses were apart, like physically apart. And back then I had some experimental device and measuring the energy of the water, and to my shock, I find out that the waters, despite being physically apart, they are in a way communicating one to another. And then kind of the good water transmitted these good vibrations to the bad water, and the energy level was going up. So of course, here is a problem of the measurer. That means me, because my influence was there as well. So we can get, I mean, it's always difficult to how to, let's say, avoid contamination of the person who is doing the measurements. But yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's tough to view an isotope in isolation, right? Like there's no such thing.
Yes, and as well, I mean, we have so many influences. We have moon influences to the water, planets influencing the water. That there, it might be some people who are extremely skeptical about it, and as well that is influence to the water, while other people looking into the results as well have influence. So yeah, it's a challenging topic, how to avoid, let's say, how the research is valid, definitely.
So how my first thought was, well, if the structured water yields better crops, why aren't we just putting this on the end of every hose? Why don't you guys create a nozzle on the end of a hose that you connect the nozzle to, or like an extension to the hose, and just have the water run through that, and everyone just waters all their plants with that? Why wouldn't you guys get into the gardening aspect of it?
Yeah, I agree with you totally. That was my idea in 2009, 2010. I said, I mean, because the concept or the technology is proven not in strawberries, but in vegetables, in milk production, in poultry, in all the aspects of the farming. And I was really into the my business idea was, okay, I will stop with strawberries to do something bigger, and that I will promote this technology to other farmers. But the response was like zero.
Yeah, but I mean,
Nobody.
if you were to sell like a little tube, right?
No,
Like
I was so desperate. I stopped selling. I
yeah.
said, I'm giving to you the device. No, truly, you are laughing. I'm giving to you. Have it there. Use it, and then you will tell me the difference. No, no, no. I don't want to try. I mean, then I gave up the idea.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That
How
is
much
so interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, how much does it cost to produce, let's say, and what would the hose extension or the pipe extension, what would that be made out of?
You have different. I mean, there are one or at least two companies who are professional in this field, and they are, let's say, they have the products for farmers, and like big water structuring devices. And of course, the people who tried, the results are amazing. But majority of food production is still conventional and using, let's say, technology that is not so, let's say, yeah, not so in long term good for the nature and for the people.
Mm.
So I mean, the investment is relatively low if you compare to how many cubic meters of water it can go through, and what the benefit is.
Mhm.
um, for me, already in 1 year of strawberry growing, I received all the investment back. And tell me what I mean. It is literally very rare things that you get return on investment so quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, 18% more yield. So whatever that,
Yeah, I
you know.
mean, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to wrap it. I always think about things from every angle. So the experiment with the water and the I hate you water and the I love you water and how it
Yeah,
freezes nice and the food that molds quicker and doesn't,
yeah.
Well, I also think about that too. Well, if the food spoils quicker, does that make it, I mean, why is that bad? Right? So is the mold the evil thing, or is the mold the good thing? Like why is I hate you equate to more mold? Like, isn't that insulting to fucking mold? You know what I mean? Like why 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 is why is that frequency considered the bad frequency? Whereas if you look at fungi, I mean, without fungi, there's it's it degrades everything. They use fungi to destroy uh, petroleum products and nuclear waste. Like it's incredible. So why is that frequency the bad frequency, or why is that associated with I hate you, and why is I hate you considered the bad one? I don't the one man's trash is another man's treasure. You know what I mean? Like this is where my mind gets lost with the intent and the energy and all that. How can and even the vibrations, why, good vibration versus bad vibration? How do you I don't know, distinguish and discriminate, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, is a very simple, let's say, way of choosing it. Love is always better. That's when you have to choose it, you always choose the love, not fear or not hate or not, because fear, hate, and sadness and whatever, those are destructive and chaotic elements, while love is connecting, etc. So it's, um, I mean, if there is so many experiments. We take a community of 100 people where people love each other, support each other, and we leave them there for 1 year, and we will see what they will accomplish, and we have another community of 100 people where there is hate and they envy one another. They don't help each other. They're more individualistic, etc., etc. And the difference will be clear. So yeah, love always wins.
When you said that you had an experimental device where you had the 2 bottles of water and then you found that there was a transfer, what was that measuring? You said it was measuring like the energy of the water, but what
Yes,
kind of
for sure.
variable is that? And bearing in
Yeah.
mind, like I hope that you get the impression too, but like, I'm sure some people are very like this against you. But if there's any two kind of weird dudes that are kind of interested in this, is us, So, please feel free. Like, there's no such. It can't be too woo woo for us. We just
Yeah.
want to know. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you for this, let's say, for the question and for opening this topic. It's difficult. I mean, the world is as it is. Some people are extremely skeptical. I might say even hate us a little bit, and being militant and that we are selling the snake oil or whatever the expression might be. Then we have, let's say, majority of the people are open-minded skeptics, and when they try the product, they see that it's good and working. And of course, you have then a segment of people on the other side of the line, where, let's say, they know a little bit more, or let's say they study, they read books, learn about things. So it's, I would say that the device that I was having back then, I was not too happy with it because the results was not constant, and I couldn't figure it out why it's sometimes it's showing the result, the other time not. What's the kind of the system behind it? So for me, one of the most important measuring tools is the most simple, and I think it is very well known. It's the pendulum, and with it you can measure things. I mean, it's a simple device. Everyone can learn how to use it, and many books written about it. And then you just unplug the conscious part of your time, of your mind, or putting away the rational side, and you measure things, start measuring, and then you see the difference.
So when you say the pendulum, you mean just holding?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I
Mhm.
mean, it's extremely simple device, and you can measure vibrations, energies, help people, and much more. So, yeah, and of course, this is something that, I mean, there is so many people out there who measure things, and they confirm that Flaska is working. I didn't pay them that they would confirm anything, but they measure it and they feel it. Of course, we have, let's say, people are different. Children especially can feel the energy of Flaska, women as well. But with us men, we want to see the wires and some red light and some batteries, and then it is working. So yeah, it's challenging.
So talk to me about the moon charging aspect. You'd mentioned Lunar before. What is the impact of the moon? Are you supposed to leave the water out in the moon? Are you supposed to leave the water out in the sunlight? What is the benefit? What is the purpose of all that?
It's always the purpose is to have the best water, simply. But for me is highly unpractical because then, I mean, you are picking your water like 12 times per year, and then you have to store it, and it has to be in the dark and in the glass, and etc. So it's kind of complicated, and then of course you as well, you can do that. You drive to certain spring and you pick the water there and do it. So for me, it's the best approach is the most simple solutions, because in modern life we don't have the comfort of let's say, some people do, and some people are willing to, I wouldn't call it pay the price, but um, to really they really do a lot of effort for good water, and I respect that a lot. I'm more for extremely practical things, and that, for example, Flaska is doing what is doing, and that I have enough time to go to climb the mountain, or to go with the bicycle, or to go sailing, etc., rather than I would call it to chase the water, and oh, if it is not on that day, then it's not good, etc., etc. That's kind of yeah, overcomplication of the life.
Yeah. Getting
So-
lost in the weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a
Yeah.
way. In a way.
20/80 rule, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So talk to me about Flaska then. Talk to me about your product. You have the different water bottles behind you. Talk to me about them. What are they?
I mean, it's as said, it's nice bottle. We have in different. You can buy it as a glass bottle, or we put different protective sleeves on it, because if it falls down and it is covered with cork or neoprene, then you have way less chances that it breaks. Already the glass is extremely durable, made in Italy, with beautiful design. And I would say that from the, let's say, entrepreneurial viewpoint, or we might say even capitalistic, it's a problem, because the product is, I mean, you buy it once and you have it for life. So tell me about the product which is improving the quality of your life, and you have it for yeah. So it's but that's how it is. That's our philosophy. We are proud that we are lowering the use of single-use plastic bottles, etc. So the product is stress-free. As said, you just fill tap water, or okay, filtered water, depends on the water quality, and you have it with you all day, in the car, in the gym, at work, etc. So we know that was not our intention in the first place. It was just to have good water. But yeah, our customers say, you know what, we drink way less, well, not less, way more water than we used to. So we're talking about two things, not just the quality of the water, but as well the quantity of the water is higher, and that's important.
For sure. And then with the bottle, you need to shake it, or does it if it's just inside there, just the way that the glass is manufactured, it's having the effects?
It's not necessary to shake it. If you just have it inside, it's enough. But if you do shake it, it's better, definitely. As well as we have some lines, so the shaking or the vortexing effect is let's say it's stronger. But otherwise, you just open and drink it. You don't have to shake it like crazy. But this is just another, let's say, way of restructuring, putting a little bit of intent inside. If you already, let's say, with you know, it's not that you just take it and drink it while doing some, but you're doing an effort to shake it. So more intention you put into it, more effective it will be.
And where can we pick these up?
Well, you can pick it up in web shop, flaska.us or flaska.eu, and yeah, we have many models. We have jugs as well. We have products for tea, so as well glasses, and we try with the design to cover all the needs from, let's say, we don't want to be boring and walk around all in the same clothes, and as well Flaska has different clothes, so you might as well print your name on it or your logo, many options.
Super cool. I'm gonna get some. I want to also see with my kids, and I want to experiment. If you've got glasses, the next time people are over, and just have a little watch to see what they're doing.
That's what I'm doing too. I'm gonna pick up. This is the website, right? Right here.
Yeah. This is flaska.eu website here. Exactly.
That's a nice looking website.
This is a
too.
beautiful website, and you guys
Yeah.
got glasses too.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah,
that.
exactly. Thank you for the compliment.
Teacups.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. This is. I mean, attention to detail is important, right? You look at my website. My website's dog shit. This is very, very nice. This
Thank
is
you.
yeah, dude. This is great. And we just what we do, we go. How do we make an order? Shop.
Oh, it's shop, yeah, exactly. And then
77 different products. Awesome.
yeah.
Nice, man. This is great.
That's lovely.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick a bunch up. They're gonna be nice Christmas gifts for people too.
Yeah,
That's
thank
right.
you. Yeah, definitely. Teacups are now very popular. As well, we have a special, and we might say that as well. This is the first Flaska with special vibration, Flaska abundance. So we all know what the word means and what we would like to attract. So I think we will develop more in Flaskas with special vibrations for, let's say, sports and energy, and or let's say for women with second spring, having their issues, etc. So this is our next phase.
Awesome, Maks.
Fantastic.
Thank you for coming on. Do you have other than your website, flaska.eu, is there anything else you want to direct everyone towards?
Oh, well, it's, how should I say, as said, the drinking of water is extremely important, but it will not be any difference if it's like if you go to fast food once, it will not hurt you. And here, one glass of good or bad water, it doesn't depend. It has to become simply a part of your life, like the cell phone or the wallet you go around with. And if you have Flaska and you're with you all the time, you have a piece of health with you all the time. And that's why it is a great present as well, because you're giving away something special, not just an ordinary product, something which brings love to the people.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Love it. Maks, thank you so much for coming on, brother. I appreciate you and your time.
Thank you for the invitation and for all the interesting questions.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. Alrighty.